This is absolutely wonderful. What we've got is a spiral cut potato that we pre-cooked. Then we added in some scrambled eggs. We've got some peppers in there, some various other vegetables, a little bit of seasoning. Wrap the whole thing up in bacon so that we could finish it off and get that cooked up. And you got to give this a try. This is just nothing but wonderful. See how we did it. Hey, it's Jeff with Barbecue Plus, and today we're doing a little bit of breakfast. So this is something I've been thinking about for a while, kind of planning out how I'm gonna do it. The whole idea is to spiral cut a potato, fill it full of cheese and eggs, and then wrap the whole thing up in bacon, and that's gonna be the complete breakfast. So here's exactly how we're gonna do it. So step one is I'm gonna put a skewer right through the middle of this potato. So with that skewer through the potato, we want to then cut all the way around up to the skewer so we can make a spiral and separate that out. So gonna go at a bit of an angle. And the nice thing is you can cut all the way down to where that skewer is. You just need to make sure that you're holding your knife at enough of an angle so that way it's gonna leave nice little sections in here that we're gonna stretch out a little bit, and then we're gonna fill up with lots of other goodness after we cook the potato. Getting a little thin there, so, ooh, looks like I broke through. Well, we'll see how this is gonna go. Okay, so we've got that cut through, and now we're just gonna try to separate these a little bit. Gonna do a couple of things. It'll speed up the cooking of this because we're going to pre-cook the potato, but it will also kind of form it so that we're going to have some room to be able to insert all that other goodness, like the eggs with the peppers. There's going to be some cheese in there as well. Hey, I think this is going to work out pretty well. Make sure you go all the way down to where that skewer is. I think using a wooden skewer is going to be best. I have metal also, but decided to use a wooden just because it's going to hold that potato a little bit better. And when I cut down to it, I'm not going to dull my knife. So look at that. That looks really good. That is just what I'm looking for. Not perfect, but hey, that's going to be okay. So now we're going to add some olive oil. And we could do it a couple of different ways. I'm just going to kind of run a little bit in here. I'm going to get my hands in there and just kind of massage it around a little bit. You could also use maybe like a spray, kind of an atomizer, to spray it on there if you want. And now we're going to add some kosher salt to it. Just a nice coarse salt. It's going to go all over that potato. Olive oil helps it to stick. Hey, next thing, we're gonna bring this out, put it onto the smoker, using a Traeger 125 smoker. This thing is set for about, I think it's at 350 degrees. And I'm gonna check in on this probably after about a half hour to 45 minutes. If it was a whole potato, I would give it a little bit more time. But since we've opened this up a little bit, I wanna make sure that we don't overcook it. And I'm not going to take it all the way to finished because we're going to scramble some eggs with some of this diced up peppers in there and add that into here, wrap it all up in bacon, and then it's going to go back out on the smoker to finish the cooking of the potatoes. So time to head out to the smoker. There's that spiral potato. We are up to temp on the Traeger. So let's just put that fella in place. and we're gonna just give it some time. We're set at 350, gonna give that some good smoke, cook it down, check in probably about 45 minutes or so, and take it to the next step. Let's check in here. I think our potato is looking really, really wonderful. Look at that, we've got good golden color to it. I think it's ready to pull off. This has been about 45 minutes at 350. So we're going to take it inside, stuff it, wrap it, and bring it back out. Okay, now that we've got this potato off of the grill, I think this is in great shape. Feel of this, it's still a little bit solid in some of the thicker parts, but that's okay because this is going to continue to cook. So next step is what we're going to do is we're going to break a couple eggs. So I've got a pan preheating to scramble these eggs. And what I've always liked to do with scrambling eggs is add a little bit of moisture to them. I've used tonic water or soda water in the past. Tonic water is probably my favorite. It just really gives a little bit more froth to it. But I was reading the other day and somebody suggested using, for 2 eggs, a tablespoon of soy sauce. They said it gives that great umami flavor to it. It's got a saltiness to it. This is a low salt that I usually use. So we're just going to put that in and give that a try. I think that should kind of kick this up a little bit. I like to get a lot of air in these. So this is kind of a nice little whisk that I bought a few years ago and really like doing scrambled eggs with that. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside for a couple of minutes. One of the things that we want to do before we put those scrambled eggs together is to cut up this pepper. So this is just a small orange pepper from a package at Costco. We're going to pull the seeds and everything out of here, and then we're just going to cut this into small little chunks, dice it up. If you want to turn up the heat, use a jalapeno. I don't know, use a ghost pepper if you want. Your choice on what you want to do to add that heat to it. But I like kind of this sweet little bit of heat that I get from these peppers. There we go, so these are gonna go into the frying pan first with a little bit of olive oil. So we just wanna soften them up. I would probably also add some onion, but onion doesn't really agree with me. So since I'm gonna be tasting this, my choice, I'm gonna leave the onion out. So while we're sauteing those peppers, I'm gonna get the bacon ready. We're not gonna use all of this. We'll just use as much as we need, we'll find out. Little trick I always like to do is to kind of roll these up a little bit. It seems that they separate a little better then. Peppers are doing well, and I think now it's going to be time to put this nice, rich looking scrambled egg mixture in, and we're going to cook it up just a little bit south of done. So I want the eggs kind of runny yet because they're going to finish up with these potatoes. So there are the eggs. You can see where they're just still a little bit runny yet, and you can see that nice color that we picked up from the soy sauce. Your choice might also to be able to add some spinach to this. We also want to add in kind of a nice handful of this Mexican 3 cheese blends. So we're going to put that right in this mixture. Mushrooms might be nice in this also. Didn't think of it to add it in this one, but hey, maybe next time. So now comes the tricky part. What we're going to do is just kind of mold this in as best we can, trying to get it in between each layer of this spiral potato. If you remember the movie with Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom, Tuck Tuck Fold, TTF, we want to get this just all kind of nicely pushed in there. With this cooked, you do have a little bit more pliability, I guess I would say, to kind of separate these sections. Ooh, that's looking good. I'm gonna roll this over, see what we can get onto the back side. This is smelling really good too. Got a little bit of smokiness from the grill. And now we're really going to get into it. I'm going to lay down a couple of strips of bacon and see how successfully I can move this over. So we're going to use 4 strips of bacon. If you can tell, I'm kind of making this up as I go. I have laid awake for a few nights thinking of how I was going to do this. And every time it turned out well. Use some toothpicks to secure this bacon right in. Hey, that's looking pretty good too. Gonna continue to roll that around. All the goodness fell out. We're just gonna tuck it back in, wrap it up. We'll probably have to be fairly gentle with this when we move it over back onto the smoker to render out that bacon and to finish the cook. Roll it one more time. I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer on this. Be careful for toothpicks because it's taken a bunch of them to hold this all together. Add the seasoning, the rub you like. I am a fan of Slap Yo Mama for eggs and for my breakfast. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on here. This is kind of like the idea of a fatty. So if you haven't tried one of those, it's all kinds of wonderful breakfast goodness wrapped up in a bacon weave. I've got a video that I'll post there, wherever. I'll link it so that you can find it and watch it if you wish. It's looking good. We're going to take that fella, bring it out to the smoker and cook it to render that bacon. We're going to see what slides out of there. Hopefully not very much, but we'll check it out. There it is. Smoker is running right around 350. So we're going to move this fella on there and just let it render out and check back in. Just to make sure it gets temperature even on all sides, we're rolling this around a little bit. Okay, so here it is. I pulled it off the smoker, pulled out that long skewer. That came out really easily, and pulled out as many toothpicks as I could find. It might be like Mardi Gras with the king cake, where if you get a toothpick in there, maybe that's a bonus and a benefit for you. But hopefully I've got those out of there. I did take the temperature on this. We were running about 165, 170 for internal temperature, and that was when the bacon was all rendered out. So we'll cut into that. Hey, look, a toothpick. I win. So look at that on the inside. We've got our potato in there. We've got some scrambled egg. We've got cheese in there. And then that bacon on the outside. So what we're going to do is cut this into little pieces here and put it onto a plate to serve. Yep, that's still pretty warm. So that looks pretty good. So you can see that bacon around there. We've got the potato all the way through there as a spiral cut. You can see a little bit of pepper. And we've got that eggs that we scrambled up with some soy sauce. I can't wait to try this. Oh, wow. That is wonderful. The soy sauce that we added when we scrambled those eggs really comes through. We've got kind of a saltiness, a little bit from the soy sauce, but also from that bacon around there. The potato is wonderful. And then the scrambled eggs, plus the peppers in there. Oh man, I am gonna be making this a lot. This is really, really good. It is everything you want for breakfast, all wrapped up together. You can add other things in. I probably could have put some mushrooms, could have put some spinach in here. Again, I said that I didn't put onions in because they really don't agree with me, but lots of different breakfast things you could put in. You could probably even put some breakfast sausage in here. So my wife, who doesn't like to appear on camera, tried this out and she said, home run, 10 out of 10. So I came up with this on my own. I've got a lot of other recipes. Some of them are inspired by what other people have done. Some are things that I just dreamed up on a sleepless night, kind of like this. And I think most of them turned out really good. So if you need some inspiration, go through and take a look at my videos. I got a lot of them for you. You can go out and cook something great in your backyard this weekend. Hey, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, share it with some friends that maybe you talk about barbecue with. And from Barbecue Plus, thanks for watching.